And good evening, everyone. Welcome to WREP 15 Sports and the MHS YouTube channel live. So we appreciate you if you're following us live. Big game here, Mid-State Conference game at Ciderwoods Field. It's the Martinsville Artesians hosting the Decatur Central Hawks. Both teams come into tonight's game at 2-1. The Hawks have a conference record of 2-0. The Artesians a conference record of 1-0. They got their first Mid-State Conference victory last week, and what a game it was. An overtime win at Greenwood. Artesians won that game 35-34. We've got some highlights from last week's game thanks to show you some of those highlights of last week's win against the Greenwood Woodmen. First off, there's a pass to LaFerry from Martin. Martin had a really nice game last week, probably his best game maybe of his career. You see him just kind of airing it out. That's his first of 4 touchdowns. That one went to LaFerry as well. So LaFerry, his first game back last week, had a big game. And you see Bo Hess making hits. Bo Hess had a great game on the defensive end for the Artesians. Bo Hess finished with 12 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and there's 2 of them right there. The Bo Hess comes in up big for the defense. Greenwood had a big rushing attack, but the Artesians did a really good job to try to neutralize it. As you can see, another big play here, tackle for loss by the Artesians. Artesians really did a good job in the first half of kind of containing the Greenwood Woodmen ground game. And then here's another long pass. That was the trick play where Adkins got the pass. So we may see Adkins come up big here in this game as well. And then the ground game, Mr. Go-To Tyler Cox, his touchdown for the Artesians. And then some more defensive highlights there. You see the Artesians causing a turnover, just knifing through the offensive line and just putting a helmet on the football. And Artesians able to recover on that possession. And then here Greenwood's going to try to air it out, and it's picked off by the Artesians. So Artesians were able to create a couple of turnovers, really help them in this game. Like I said, Greenwood doesn't go through to the air that much, but the Artesians were ready for it. And then another handoff there for the Artesians now to the second half. And just more defensive highlights you see, just good tackling form. Going low, making sure you take out the legs. And then here's a nice defensive play there by Larry Bland. Larry Bland has done really good in the defensive backfield for the Artesians this year. And there was another great play from him. And then immediately some tackle there by the Artesians. And some more offensive highlights there as Martin gets it out to one of his receivers. And then he makes a man miss and takes it up the sideline for a big gainer. See the Artesians having a little bit of confidence. They got down 28-14 in this game. And then in the fourth quarter, with about 9.5 minutes left, it's when the comeback really started. And the confidence and momentum started to build for the Artesians. And that touchdown there, the back of the end zone for Martinsville. Some more defensive highlights here. Just see a lot of game tackling there. 3 Artesian players right there making the tackle. And that's what you need, especially with a running team like Greenwood. And then some more defensive plays knocked away there by the Artesian defender. And a quick pass and gets out to the sideline. You see Martin do that a lot. Throws it out to the sideline, gets some quick passes, but it gets 4 or 5 yards most times. This time he shows the arm strength, goes deep, and connects. And that was Garrett Skaggs, I believe, who scored that touchdown. I believe that's what tied it in regulation. The score was 28-28 at that point. But the defense had work to do. Had committed some penalties, but set up a kick right Greenwood, and it just went underneath the crossbar there. So no good. So the Artesians got the stop to end regulation. And here's overtime. Artesians got it first, and Martin gets it. So gets it a 5-yard completion there. Then this is a touchdown coming up, and you'll see Chase Mabry. He'll catch it, and he had a defender all over him. Kind of got dinged up a little bit on that play, but was able to hang on to it and score what turned out to be the game-winning touchdown. And then here's the big defensive stop. Greenwood went for it on 2 after scoring the touchdown, and they get stuffed. That ends the ball game. Artesians come away with the big overtime win against the Woodmen, 35-34, to go to 1-0 in the Mid-State Conference. So Coach Duggar obviously very excited about that win, his first conference win as a head coach. Let's go to his clip and see what he talked about the Greenwood game.
Kind of look at the comeback. It's not like one guy just started playing all of a sudden. I mean, Tyrus got hot there in the fourth quarter, but it was the different guys. I mean, he hit Braxton Dilly 2 or 3 times. He hit Chase Mabry a couple times. He even had a couple swing passes to Tyler Cox. But Garrett Skaggs and Cheatham with some big catches. We kind of just got in a rhythm and really kind of got going as a unit there offensively. And our defense has just been great all year and really flying to the football and making plays all over the field. And that showed on that final 2-point play. I mean, we had 3 or 4 guys at the point of attack and just not letting them get in the end zone. And that's such a huge deal that the win wasn't just because somebody did something. It was because we did it as a team.
And that was head coach Brian Duggar for the Artesians talking about the big win against Greenwood. But tonight, Artesians have another tough task in the Mid-State Conference. The Decatur Central Hawks 5A squad, who comes in at number 5 in both the AP and the coaches poll. Very talented football team. Their only loss was the first game of the season to the Center Grove Trojans, and Center Grove has defeated everybody in big ways. They're probably the best team in the state, and some say maybe one of the best teams in the country. That's Decatur Central's only loss. They're coming off a win last week at Whiteland, or against Whiteland, I should say. They won that game 27-14. Kind of a weird game if you look at the stats. Decatur Central only had 184 yards of total offense in that game, but it was their defense that really helped them win that game. Their defense forced 7 turnovers against Whiteland. They got 2 interceptions and forced 5 fumbles. So this is a defense who the Artesians know who the defensive coordinator is across the field. It's former head coach of the Artesians, Brad Rose. And he is leading the Decatur Central Hawks defense and had a big impact in the game last week against Whiteland. But let's go ahead and hear what Coach Duggar talks about, what Decatur Central is going to bring. Let's start with what he thinks the offense might bring to tonight's game.
Makes him go. Horsley makes him go. He was really good last year. He's even better this year. He's throwing the ball really well. That's what I've been really impressed with his game. His game has gone from kind of an athlete who could throw the ball to kind of more of a quarterback this year. He's been very impressive. We got to do a good job of not letting him make plays. He's really good at extending a play and finding a Tracy or someone down the middle of the field for 40, 50 yards. And he'll beat you with his feet too. So our defense has their hands full this week. It's not going to be an easy.
That was Coach Duggar talking about the Decatur Central Hawks offense and what they bring to the table. A lot of athletic players on their team as the Artesians come out onto the field. Decent crowd here, especially with the COVID restrictions. Still a lot of support for the Artesians, and they will need every bit of it because, like I said, Decatur Central, number 5 in the state in the 5A class, a very talented team. Coach Kyle Enright, who has an overall record of 40-11 as a head coach, led the Decatur Central Hawks to the state final game. He was a runner-up just 2 years ago in 2018. So this is a team that is still very talented. They may not quite have the weapons that they had last year or even 2 years ago, but still they have a lot of firepower on both sides of the football, offense and defense. A very talented football team, but it's their defense who really did help them win that game against Whiteland. Let's hear what Coach Duggar has to say about Decatur Central's defense and what the Artesians could expect.
Man-to-man the whole game out wide. They're going to match up with us. They're going to put 6 guys in the box, and they're going to let those guys do whatever they kind of want, blitzing and stunting and all sorts of different combinations. Blitz pickup's been a big theme this week for our practice plans, and they're going to come at you. They're going to ninja some stuff and come at you from all different angles. That's what they do.
And that was Coach Duggar talking about the Decatur Central defense and what the offense will have to face in tonight's game. Let's go ahead and kind of pause on the preview of tonight's game And let's get ready for the playing of our national anthem, which is going to be played by the Martinsville Marching Band.
Jason Jenkins. On to Jason number 75, Wyatt Shrake. 77, Sam Leidy. Also on the line, number 78, Luke Edwards. And wide receiver, 68, Luke Cheeto. And our head coach, Brian Duggar. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to have your attention for a special 9/11 tribute. On September 11th, 2001, 19 terrorists led a series of 4 suicide attacks on our U.S. soil. These attacks took place in New York City, Washington, D.C., and in Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people died in the attacks, and countless military have lost their lives protecting our freedoms since that day. Please take a moment now to appreciate the ability that we do have to share in the experience of high school athletics. At this time, please share a moment of silence for 11 seconds to honor the lost ones from 9/11, along with the military and first responders that have defended our country, who have given us the opportunity to participate and enjoy high school athletics. Now please remain standing and remove your hats and join the percussion section of Martinsville Artesian Band in the playing of our national anthem under the direction of Mr. Ken Belt.
And that was the percussion section of the Martinsville Artesian Marching Band. Thank you for that rendition of the national anthem. And thank you, Phil Deckard, for that moment of silence for 9/11. Obviously, that is the date today. So a little extra remembrance for Friday Night Lights here as we play under the lights on September 11th. We are just getting ready for kickoff here as we have a moment as Decatur Central comes onto the field. We've got one more clip from head coach Brian Duggar talking about the keys to the game and what Martinsville is going to need to do to win this football game.
From the Greenwood game, it was a physical game, so we'll probably have a few guys out this week. So again, it's going to be next man up for us again this week. Next guy's going to have to step up. Other guys are going to have to elevate themselves a little bit, and we're going to have to make some plays from that department. Offensively, the big thing's going to be we're going to have to identify our blitz pickups. We're going to have to communicate up front. If we're on the same page, our system is good for what they do, but they can cause lots of problems with it. So we got to communicate up front, win our one-on-one matchups out wide, and make some plays. Defensively, we have to do a really good job of not letting the big play happen. We got to kind of keep them locked in, make them go full drives, and hope they make some mistakes here and there, and hope our guys make some plays.
And that was the keys to the game from Coach Brian Duggar, who, as most of you know, is in his first year as a head coach and the first year at Martinsville. And so far, he's got a head coaching record of 2-1. Like I said, he was very excited about that win last week at Greenwood. Some would call it an upset win. Greenwood, I should say, was ranked higher than Artesians in any ranking before that game last week, and the Artesians were down 2 scores and really struggling offensively in that entire third quarter, and about 9.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Just really turned it up, never gave up, got a score, got some stops, got another score. Then despite some penalties on that final Greenwood drive in regulation, the missed field goal and all the momentum was on the Artesian side. Scored first, and then they were able to get the stop on the 2-point conversion. Greenwood is going for the win. As you see, the coin toss has been made, the social distance coin toss, I should say. Artesians are going to receive it, so they will get the football first. So we will see Ty Martin and the offense take the field to start this game. For Decatur Central, some players to look out for the Hawks. The quarterback, Peyton Horsley, you heard about it, and Coach Duggar mentioned that he has become not just an athlete who can play quarterback, but he's become an actual quarterback who can throw the football and not just use his legs. He's very talented throwing the football as well, senior leader for this Hawk team. And then the other player to look out for, number 11, the wide receiver, a junior, Javon Tracy. He's got 15 catches, 277 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But for any Martinsville fans that have watched games against Decatur Central, you know that Tracy name. That is because Javon Tracy has 2 older brothers, Tyrone Tracy, who was a redshirt sophomore for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and then Kenny Tracy, who was a senior last year for Decatur Central. He is at Miami of Ohio and Oxford, both playing football. And then he's got a cousin, Larry Tracy, who is a football player at IU. So a very talented, athletic family and a great family from what I've heard scholastically and everything. And here we go. We're kicking this off. It'll be taken at about the 9-yard line. It's Tyler Cox. He makes one man miss. He finds a seam. Now he's still on his feet at the 30, and he gets tackled at the 40-yard line. So a great start by the Martinsville Artesians on that return by number 28, Tyler Cox. So Tyler Cox takes the opening kickoff and goes about 30 yards and gives the Artesians pretty good starting field position. Made a couple men miss. Let's show a replay of it here. You see kind of breaks to the outside and cuts back in and nearly took it to the house. Got tackled from behind around the 40-yard line, and we've got a whistle. And we've already got a timeout called by Decatur Central. So, wow. I cannot make Coach Enright very happy about the way this game has started. Decatur Central special teams gives up a big return, and then first play of the game, before the first play of the game is actually snapped, Decatur Central has to call a timeout. They just were not ready defensively. And you kind of have to wonder if Decatur Central is maybe peeking ahead a little bit. Next Friday they host Mooresville, so that would be a huge game at Decatur Central against Mooresville, who's the number 1 team in 4A. And Coach Duggar said he kind of treated this week like championship week because he knows that if you want to win a conference championship, you're going to have to go through Decatur Central and Mooresville. So he kind of treated this week like he was preparing for a championship because he knows in order to get that Mid-State Conference championship, you are going to have to get a win tonight and then down the road when you play Mooresville. So Decatur Central has a huge game next week, so you wonder if maybe they're peeking ahead a little bit, and that's why they're made a couple mistakes here to start this game. Don't know. That's pure speculation by the broadcaster, which is something a broadcaster should never do. So I've already broken a rule. Here we go. Hands off. Cox has it, gets across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. So Tyler Cox had back-to-back 100-yard rushing games, his first two games, but just could not quite get the running game going last week against Greenwood. Only had 39 yards, but did have a touchdown. Comes in on the year, 306 yards and 3 touchdowns total on the ground. They're going to give it to him again, tries to find some room, and gets about a yard or maybe 2. Probably only give him about a yard there. So we've got third and a short 7 here. 2 straight carries by Tyler Cox. And looking at a 3rd and long here for Martinsville. We'll see Ty Martin if he'll throw it out. Had probably his best game, definitely best game of the season last week, and maybe the best game of his high school career. Threw 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. They just handed off to Tyler Cox again, and a little surprised by the play call there. Maybe got a yard. So 3 straight carries to Tyler Cox, and well short of any type of first down. So that's going to bring up a 4th down and a punting situation for the Artesians. So a little bit of a head scratcher there by the play calling. 3 straight runs and no passing attempts, but Coach Duggar knows what he's doing a lot more than I do. So got to be a reason for it, but 4th down, punting situation. Cannot, and there's some pressure, and it's going to be blocked. And it is scooped up, but that will be Decatur Central's football, and they will have it in the Artesian territory. They'll have it at the 47-yard line of Martinsville. And Decatur Central, they went right through that line and blocked it at the elbows. So now it's the defense who's going to have to step up. So Peyton Horsley, he's going to hand it off first, and immediately tackled. And we got a late flag, so we'll have to see what this is about. Got about a 3-yard pickup there. And it looks like the penalty is going to be against the Decatur Central Hawks. And that was a late flag. So we will see how far this is going to go back. So that was Caleb Hicks, number 5, the running back for Decatur Central. Decatur Central is a very balanced football team. They average 163 yards per game through the air, 158 yards per game on the ground. So very, very balanced football team here. They score through the air and on the ground. Now they're 1st and 23 after the penalty. It's Hicks again, and he drops the football, but he's able to scoop it up, but it's going to move that backwards for a loss. Lost about 2 or 3 yards on that bobble, but fortunately for him, he's able to fall on it. So Decatur Central a little sloppy here to start this game. Like I said, they gave up a pretty big return and then had to call a timeout before the first play of scrimmage was even snapped due to some miscommunication on defense. Then they committed a unsportsmanlike penalty in the fumble. Horsley, he's going to pass it. He finds a man wide open in the middle of the field. Ooh, gets hit hard. Bo Hess with a shot, but a big completion there for Peyton Horsley. $16-yard completion there for Peyton Horsley. So the 16-yard completion brings up 3rd and 6. Ball back in Artesian territory, but this is a big 3rd down for Martinsville, and you'd have to think if the Hawks have it in on this side of the 50, they're more than likely going to go for it on 4th down. Not for sure, but 3rd and 6. Artesian's probably going to have to stop Decatur Central twice here. Horsley's going to keep it himself, and he gets buried. Artesian's not fooled by that. Tried to read option play and didn't get anything. Looks like Malachi Pringle and Nigel Bryant in there on that tackle. See number 54, Nigel Bryant, has a wrap around his right hand, but he is still playing, so tough kid there. As a 4th down situation coming up for the Hawks, and it looks like they're going to keep their offense out there, which kind of suspected. The Artesians have a chance to get a turnover on downs here in the first quarter early on in this football game. Horsley, he's going to pass. He's got plenty of time. He's going to throw it, and it is, nearly picked off. Broken up by the Artesians, number 29, Jason Cox. And Peyton Horsley tried to throw it in traffic, and Cox was right there. The brother of Tyler Cox couldn't quite hang on to it. Actually, the intended receiver, had to switch from receiver to defensive back in a hurry and knock that ball away from it being intercepted. So a good series there by the defense. And Decatur Central kind of put themselves in a hole after a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to start that drive, put them at 1st and 23, then a fumble that Decatur Central was able to recover themselves. But Artesian defense stood up, and it's like Mabry here. He's in trouble. There's nowhere to go. He is going to go way backwards. It's a loss of 5 yards for Mabry on that completion. So the first completion for Martin goes backwards, unfortunately, as Chase Mabry just had no running room. He caught that pass and tried to go the opposite direction, and there's no room that way either. So 7:40 to go here in the first quarter. Scoreless game. Both offenses not quite very crisp just yet. Artesians, they're going to hand it off, and Tyler Cox has got nowhere to go. He's going to lose about 2 yards there. So Artesians facing a 3rd and very long. So Artesian offense really needs something here. We're looking at 2 straight drives where gained very minimal yardage offensively. Roll out. Martin has to throw it in a hurry. He had to really rush that throw. He had a lot of pressure coming at him. And Artesian's going to have to punt this football again. Now Decatur Central, when their Artesians punted last time, they got a hand on the football and blocked it. So Artesians really going to make sure they don't let the Decatur Central defense through again. So 4th and 17. And Coach Duggar cannot be happy with the way his offense has played these first 2 drives. And this time Pemberton gets it away, but it's to Javon Tracy, who fumbles it, and now he's going to go down. So some mistakes here by Decatur Central. Artesians getting some breaks. That is the second fumble by Decatur Central, but both times, fortunately for them, they have been able to recover. So Javon Tracy there, I think what happened, he looked downfield before he actually had the football and didn't quite secure it. So we've got a scoreless game here, 6:46 left to go in the first quarter. Artesian defense back on the field again. Horsley back to pass. He's going to throw it. It's high, but it is caught and across the 45-yard line to about the 46. That's a 14-yard pass completion. think Tracy there with the reception. Not 100% for sure. Decatur Central does not have the easiest numbers to read for a broadcaster up here. Artesians showing blitz. And Horsley's going to keep it around the left side, and he's got some room, and let's see, he's going to go, and there's a flag on the near side, so let's kind of see what happens with this penalty flag here, as it was thrown well away from the play. Peyton Horsley took it around the left side for a huge gain, but the near side official threw his flag around the 45-yard line, so and it was a sideline warning against the Artesians, so that's not really going to mess with the penalty at all. That's a 16-yard run for Peyton Horsley. First down here for Decatur Central. They're going to throw it. He's got Tracy wide open, and he gets hit, and it's picked off. And it's intercepted by the Artesians up the left sideline and out of bounds, and there's another late flag. So Tracy got hit hard by the Artesians. Larry Bland was the one that I think made the hit, and it was Adam Field who got the interception after the big hit on Tracy. Let's take a look at the replay here. So there's the catch, and then there's the hit, and it just dislodges the ball, and Field is right there. And that penalty is going to go against Decatur Central on the return. So that was, I believe, a 25-yard completion. That would have set the Hawks up at the inside the 10-yard line. But the hit on Tracy from Larry Bland, and then the awareness for Adam Field to scoop it out of the at midair. Adam Field, that's his second interception on the year. And Larry Bland, we talked about it, he has done a phenomenal job in that defensive backfield. So life for the Artesians after Decatur Central is marching downfield. Let's see if the offense can get something going. And they do. A quick pass to Braxton Wright, who gets it across the 50 near the first down marker. It's going to be close to the first down. Let's see if the officials give it to him or if they mark him just shy. They're going to mark him just shy. Second and very short for the Artesians. They're going to hand it up. Nope, they're not. They're going to pass and give it to Braxton Wright again, who cannot hang on to the football. So tried to sneak Braxton Wright behind the defense. You would think Decatur Central thinking run the whole way, as Artesians only need just a couple inches to get. And Cox, he might have lost a yard. He did lose a yard. So you've got a second and inches, and Decatur Central makes a tackle for a loss here. And now Coach Duggar, I think he's going to want to talk to his team and figure out what he wants to do on this 4th and 1. The nose of the football is on the 50-yard line. Need to get it to the 49, so they're going to try to get the first down. Balls at midfield here. Going to try to draw the Hawks off sides first. 10 seconds on the play clock. They're going to snap it. Gives it to Cox. Cox lowers his head. He does get it just enough. He got 2 yards there. He needed 1. So Tyler Cox with his 6th carry. And that is the first down for the Artesians. So now you can get that out of the way, and Artesians can go back to running their offense. 4:35 left to go in the first quarter. Scoreless game. And quick pass through the hands of Chase Mabry. So Mabry was there in the flat. If that was completed, you've got at least 4 or 5 yard pickup there, but ball comes out of Martin's hand a little high and a little hot. 2nd and 10. Ty Martin takes his time, checks the play with his lineman. Hard count and back to the sideline. He looks at Coach Duggar. 3 seconds, they snap it. Quick pass to Mabry, and Mabry doesn't get anything. I think he loses a yard there. So these screens really not working out for the Artesians. Mabry's caught 2 of them and hasn't gained any positive yards since then. So 3rd and long, ball at midfield. Is Decatur Central defense really swarming around the football. You think of Martinsville and Decatur Central, you think a lot of offense and big explosive plays. In this first quarter, it's been the opposite. It's been the defenses who have really done the heavy lifting, and Martin's going to go deep and could not connect there. Trying to get it to number 26, Weston Pemberton, and just could not connect with him. So now you have to bring the punting unit back out. So once again, the offense kind of stalls out a little bit. They got the first play of the drive. They got a completion to Braxton Wright for 9 yards, and then a couple of negative running plays, and they finally do get the first down, but that's as far as they go. So Weston back to punt this away again. Punts it, gets it away, and it's going to go to the sideline. It's going to take an Artesian bounce. Tracy's going to take it, and he's got some speed and gets pushed out of bounds just shy of the 20-yard, or the 30-yard line, I should say. So Gator Central offense will take over at around the 26-yard line. So the last drive, Decatur Central moved the ball very well. Had about a 26-yard run from Peyton Horsley, then about a 25-yard pass from him to Tracy. However, Tracy took a shot, lost the football, and Artesians were able to get the interception. But their offense was starting to move a little bit before that turnover. So defense, unfortunately, back out there. That's one thing that you got to watch for, because offense just hasn't really been able to move the football, and your defense has been out on the field a lot this first quarter. Hands it off up the middle. A 6-yard carry there for Decatur Central. So 2nd and 4 coming up for the Hawks after that 6-yard carry. Little shuffling on the defensive line for the Artesians. Horsley hands it off again. It's Hicks, and I think he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker. Needed 4, maybe get 2 or 3 on that carry. And he got the first down. Wow. I thought he was stopped. I thought he only got 2 or 3 yards on that. It looks like he did get 4, so another first down for the Hawks. 2.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And on the outside, nice job by the defense to read that play. Weston Pemberton was there, who stopped Tracy from taking the outside. He had to cut back in and lost his footing and only got a yard on that run. Second and 9 coming up. Hicks moving, but it's Horsley who's going to keep it. He's going to look for his man, and it is incomplete. Second incompletion for Peyton Horsley. He's trying to find number 9, I believe, Alec Lawson. Nope, check that. I'm sorry, number 9. Peyton Broadwater, number 8, excuse me. Like I said, these numbers are not easy to read on Decatur Central. You got white jerseys with gold numbers, and gold numbers really don't pop for people up here in the press box. So that was number 8, Peyton Broadwater, who was the intended receiver, but Peyton Horsley, quarterback, could not quite connect with him. So 1:45 left to go. A big 3rd and 9 coming up. This is a situation where if Artesians can get a stop, you might force Decatur Central to have to punt this away. Defense has done a great job in this first quarter so far. Horsley is going to go back. He's got plenty of time. Now he's getting flushed around, but he's got all kinds of running room on that left side, and he will take it. 50 to the 45. So about a 17-yard run there on that scramble. So another first down for the Hawks. Looks like the defensive backs had all the receivers covered. Peyton Horsley, looks like the pocket was breaking down, but he just found some room on that left side on that scramble and took it for about 17 yards for another first down for the Hawks. That's a big backbreaker for the Artesians. As it looked like if they would have got that stop, Hawks probably would have had to punt that away. The Central, they're going to fake the end around. Peyton Horsley, he's going to try to scramble now. He's athletic. He's going to step up, throw it, and it's going to be incomplete. Good effort there by Horsley and the receiver on the far side, but could not quite connect with him. Peyton Horsley, 3 for 6 passing so far in this first quarter. Has about 55 yards unofficially. But he also has about 47 yards rushing. So he's got almost as many passing yards as he does rushing yards. Horsley back to pass. That player's wide open on the far sideline. And that is Broadwater who makes that completion. That's the first completion for Broadwater. 19-yard pass and catch. Decatur Central offense starting to really click now on this drive. Hands it off, and it's like Evans gets it across the 20-yard line to about the 19. So a 5-yard pickup for him. Second and 5. Decatur Central has it in the red zone now with about 35 seconds left to go with the first quarter. Artesians defense really need to tighten things up here, and it's going to be Horsley who keeps it up the middle, and he will score. And a 19-yard run by Peyton Horsley, and that one did go for a touchdown. So right before the end of the first quarter, Peyton Horsley on that read option took it straight up the middle, dove into the end zone for the score, and Decatur Central, they strike first, 6-0. Extra point is up. It looks good, and it is. So Decatur Central Hawks, after the extra point, they've got a 7-0 lead, and now you got to hope the offense has figured some things out, because the offense has really struggled. The defense up to that point had done a really nice job. got a 4th down stop the first time they were out there, and then got a turnover on the big hit and the interception. But then that time, Decatur Central was able to march it down the field. And you go back to that third and 9 play where Peyton Horsley went back to pass and couldn't find anybody open. The pocket started to collapse, and he found some room on the left side and took it up the left sideline. Peyton Horsley, he is kind of a dual-threat quarterback, even though he has gotten better at the passing game. 452 yards through the air, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions so far this season before today's game. And on the ground, he had 32 carries for 184 yards and 1 touchdown. Said didn't have a lot of big stats last week, 95 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and then 59 yards on the ground. He's already eclipsed that here in the first quarter. And it's a short kick. It's a high kick, though. It's going to be taken around the 10-yard line. See if Tyler Cox can get a nice return again. And he does, but he spins, still on his feet, pushed and across the 40-yard line. Another nice big return for Tyler Cox. I thought he was going to be down at around the 25 or 30-yard line. He kind of spun out of it and then got arm tackled after he got across the 40. This is the way the game started, and the offense just really couldn't take advantage of it. So let's see if this time out they can. Here's the replay as Cox takes. You see him go through there. I thought he was going to be tackled there. He doesn't. He spins and then finally gets brought down after he gets to about the 43-yard line. So Tyler Cox has kind of struggled on the ground game on offense, but when it comes to kick returns, 2 dynamic kick returns so far. Let's see if he can make some room. Tries to make some men miss. He does. Around the right side. He's up the sideline, gets tackled into the Decatur Central Hawk territory for a first down. Tyler Cox once again thought he was going to be done there, but able to get across the 40. And it looks like there is a penalty flag, so this may be coming back. And there's a holding, and maybe that's why Tyler Cox was able to get loose around the right side. So the first really big play by the offense is going to be negated by a penalty, and that will move Martinsville back to the 39-yard line. So both teams have committed some penalties here in this first quarter, and that one really hurts Martinsville because you felt like you finally got some momentum and maybe get a little rhythm offensively. Fakes it to Cox. Has Cheatham, who is able to hang on. Took a hit. And that will do it for the first quarter here as Artesian's able to connect with Luke Cheatham. So we're going to come back in the second quarter. We'll take a break right now. We'll be back right after this.
"13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, we were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. And here we are, right here, right now."
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
When you hit that water, you're going to want to look for weeds, sunken structures, down trees, stuff like that. And let that breeze tell you where you want to go. Windy days like this, those bait fish will come swimming closer to shore. They'll bring the big boys with them, those bass and those pike. Now, they like cooler temperatures, so you ain't likely to have much luck.
You're good at giving fishing advice. We're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
They've always been with live bait.
And welcome back, everyone. WREP 15 Sports and watching live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Appreciate you following us live here. Start of the second quarter, Artesians trail the Decatur Central Hawks 7-0. Face a 2nd and 6 after a 9-yard completion from Ty Martin to Luke Cheatham. Martinsville offense in that first quarter just could not get anything going. Hopefully the second quarter is a little bit better, but not a good start there as Tyler Cox is wrapped up and fortunately makes it back to near the line of scrimmage. Tyler Cox just cannot really get anything going as a running back, but as a kick returner has had 2 really nice kick returns. But unfortunately, the Artesian offense has not been able to capitalize on those good returns. We've got a 3rd and 6 here. Artesians with only 1 first down so far in this game. They had a second one, but it was taken away by a penalty. Let's see what Ty Martin can do here. Now he's got under pressure. He's going to go down for a sack. Pressure came on the right side there and went backwards. So the sack will move Martinsville back and force another punting situation for the Artesians. And Pemberton barely got that away, and it's going to hit right at the 28, 29-yard line. That's probably where they will mark it. So Pemberton staying away from number 11, Javon Tracy. And Decatur Central offense will come back out and start at the 28-yard line. So Artesian offense just looking to get on the positive side of things yardage-wise. After that sack took away 9 yards, Artesians are in the negative yard-wise. So offense really needs to regroup as the defense is back out there. Peyton Horsley rolls to his right, looking downfield. He's going to throw it, has a receiver, but overthrows him. So that's the 4th incompletion thrown by Peyton Horsley, but he does have 4 completions. And on the ground, he's also done a nice job, including a rushing touchdown. That's the lone score for Decatur Central. Here we go, 2nd and 10. Defense trying to get a stop, trying to help out their offense. They're going to give it across the right side to Hicks, and he's going to get the first down. He's still on his feet at the 50, the 40, still going. Finally forced out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. That's the first big run by Hicks. It's a 53-yard run by Caleb Hicks. And that'll be a first down for the Hawks, and they are close to the red zone again. They give it to Hicks again around the right side, and he this time is met and driven out of bounds. About a 4-yard pickup for him. This really puts a lot of pressure on the defense just because the offense has really struggled. So you can't get down 2 scores here early and put pressure on your offense. So 2nd and 6 coming up from the Artesian 21-yard line. You can even just keep Decatur Central out of the end zone and maybe force a field goal. You'd have to take that as a victory the way things have kind of gone these last 2 drives. Gives it off to Hicks again, but that time doesn't get a lot of running room. Maybe it's maybe 2 or 3 yards on that carry. Good job of the defense that time. Give him about 3 yards on that pickup. 3rd and 3. Now Decatur Central, I believe their kicker has not attempted a field goal, so you would think that Decatur Central, if they don't get the first down here, they're probably going to go for it on 4th down. So Artesian's probably going to have to stop him twice. Just give it to Hicks again. He will get the first down. Will be tackled after he crosses the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal coming up for the Hawks. Caleb Hicks, number 5'6", 180 pounds. He's kind of led this drive here for the Hawks. Going to give it to him again. See where they put him at, the 7-yard line. So only a 2-yard pickup on that carry. So really the 53-yard run was obviously the big one. And you have runs of 4 yards, 3 yards, 9 yards, and 2 yards. So Artesian's kind of limited the big plays so far after that big 53-yard run. But now they're trying to keep the Hawks out of the end zone. It's time to give it quick. Handoff there. Don't believe that was Hicks that time. I'll have to see who that was. I think number 15, Jaden Evans, was the one who had that. So 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Horsley's going to keep it. He's going to get hit, and he's going to get in. He got hammered as he crossed the goal line, but he was able to hang on to the football and get into the end zone. So Horsley keeps it again and gets his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night and makes this a 13-0 game for the Hawks. Extra point coming up for Decatur Central. 31, kick up and good. So that's Jackson Galovic with the extra point and gives the Decatur Central Hawks a 14-0 lead. So that drive was all on the ground, and the big play was the 53-yard run up the right side by Caleb Hicks. He was able to pound out a few more yards, gets it in inside the 10, and then it was Peyton Horsley from the 4-yard line on the read option, kept it himself, just like he did the last touchdown, but this time only had to go 4 yards as opposed to 19 yards he did the last scoring touchdown he had. So 14-0, 7:49 to go in this first half. And if you're Martinsville, you need to score a touchdown here, I think, on this drive. If you really want to stay in this game, you need to score a touchdown here. Because if you don't, you give Decatur Central the ball back, and then coming out of the locker room, they will start the second half with the football. So you don't want to go in the locker room down 21-0 and give the Hawks the football to start the second half. So I think you do need to run some clock here at least. I mean, at the very least, if you don't score, just get a couple first downs. Artesians only have, I believe, 1 first down in this first half. You just need to give your defense a break. They have been on the field for a long, long time. Just way too many 3-and-outs for the Artesians. This offense just at least needs to get some drives sustained. Now, the only thing good the Artesians have done is on the return here, and It's Cox again. Makes a few men miss, but this time Decatur Central bottles them up. But Cox gets it across the 20. About the 24-yard line is where the Artesians will start. This is probably the Artesians' worst starting field position tonight. Martin, quick pass. I think that is to maybe Weston Pemberton who took that. I don't think it was Tyler Cox. But the pass goes actually backwards for a loss, and that was Weston Pemberton who took that. Martin, he's got a man, and it's caught at the 50. Braxton Dilly with the catch. "29-yard completion there for Braxton Dilly. That's the first big play by the Artesian. Here's the replay of that pass. Good. As Dilly gets behind the defense, good play call by the Artesian coaching staff. And Dilly gets behind the defense and gets it into Decatur Central territory, and that's a quick pass, and Chase Mabry catches that somehow, and he gets tackled from behind. Gets it across the 30. I didn't know if that was intercepted or if that was completed. A 21-yard pass for Mabry. Now the Artesian offense, this is what they needed. They needed something to get going, just a little spark, and that's two back-to-back passing plays that went really well. There's a replay of that catch by Mabry. And there's the catch by Mabry. It just slips through the defender and gets it out across the 30. So back to live action. I believe a timeout was called by Decatur Central, who calls that timeout, trying to stop the momentum of the Artesians. That's their second timeout of the half. Artesians still have all three of theirs, but right now Artesians need to focus on getting this into the end zone. 6:05 left to go in the first half, and Artesians, looks like there's a penalty on Decatur Central, so that will give the Artesians some extra yards. Not really sure what the penalty call was. I don't know if that was a personal foul or what. Now Coach Kyle Enright's going to come out and talk to the official and try to figure out what is going on. So I don't know if something happened after the timeout was called or what it was, but all I know is the timeout was called by Decatur Central and a penalty against Decatur Central as well. But back-to-back passes from Ty Martin. The first one was to Braxton Dilly for 29 yards. Then the very next one to Chase Mabry for 21 yards. So Decatur Central out of that timeout was looking at a 2nd and 11 for the Artesians. And now this penalty gives the Artesians a first down. And they will have the ball in the red zone at around the 14-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 14. Hands it off, Tyler Cox. Still moving. Nice job by Tyler Cox to keep those legs turning. Gets it across the 10-yard line. It's probably his best run of the night. A 5-yard run, so it's his best run, 5 yards. So that kind of shows you how tough it's been to run the ball against this Decatur Central Hawk defense. Gives it to Cox. He's got a hole. He's going to score. 8-yard run for the touchdown. And that was a great read by Ty Martin. He held that football as long as he could, then gave it to Tyler Cox, who went around the left side off the left tackle there. And there is nobody in front of him except for an end zone. So 6-0, the Artesians do exactly what they needed to do. That was the drive that they needed, and that gets the Artesians kind of back into this as Ethan Hanlon with the extra point. It looks good. It is. Hanlon was perfect last night, perfect so far tonight, and with 5:36 to go, the Artesians are only down a touchdown now. So you get points on the board. That's the most important thing. Second most important thing is you actually give your defense a break. Defense got to kind of catch their breath a little bit. It seemed like it was a 3-and-out every time, so they were having to run back on that field. And if you're a defense who's gassed, it's really hard to keep Decatur Central off the scoreboard for very long. So the defense got a little bit of a break. So we'll see if they can keep Decatur Central out of the end zone. Now their job before going into halftime is keep this score at least 14 points for Decatur Central. You don't want this momentum right now the Artesians have to be taken away on a drive that ends in the end zone for the Decatur Central Hawks. So 14-7 now, 5:36 to go. Decatur Central will get the football to start the second half. You have to wonder what Artesians kicking-wise will do here. They got a little bit of momentum. Oh, Coach Whitson, it's a completely different coaching staff. Coach Whitson, this would be a time you would look at him maybe try an onside kick, steal a possession. Now, not saying that's the right thing to do or that's what Coach Duggar and his coaching staff are going to do. It just kind of makes you wonder what might happen here on this kickoff. It's Ethan Hanlon, and he will try the onside kick. It gets through, and Decatur Central is going to recover it. So coaching staff kind of thinking what I thought, trying the onside kick, steal a possession, and it looked like it might work, but it just got too far out of reach for the Artesians. And Decatur Central able to keep it, and now they will start this drive at the 39-yard line. So that gives, shows you the confidence that Coach Duggar has in this defense, that even with good starting field position, he has faith that his defense can keep the Hawks out of the end zone. Hicks has it up the middle and is going to be brought down. Field was there to get him. So an 11-yard run there for Hicks. So another first down for the Hawks. Ball right at midfield. Horsley's going to keep it around the right side. And he's going to run over an Artesian defender, but not get too much further after the 45, maybe at the 44, so a 6-yard pickup for him. Peyton Horsley also about 6 foot, 180 pounds, so not the biggest guy in the world, but you saw the strength he has. He lowered the shoulder and ran over an Artesian defender. Second and 4 coming up from the 44-yard line of the Artesians. Fakes the pass. Now Horsley is going to pass it. And it was incomplete. So a little Patrick Mahomes there. Horsley kind of threw a sidearm pass. Don't know if that was intended, or I think that was an option play where he had the option to either run it up the sideline or pass it, and I think he thought last minute to pass it. Couldn't quite make the completion. Third down coming up here for the Martinsville defense. Hands it off to Hicks. Hicks behind his blockers and gets the first down across the 40. Got a 6-yard pickup there for him. And another first down for the Hawks. Horsley, he's going to do a play action. He's going to get buried. And Ethan Potteroff with the sack. Someone came around the left side and forced Peyton Horsley to hold on to that football, and Ethan Potteroff was the one that cleaned it up. And here's the sack by the Artesians. It's a big play by that defense as they needed a negative play for Decatur Central. Now Peyton Horsley's going to roll to his right. He's going to look. He's got a man. It is caught. It is Tracy who is forced out of bounds at around the – I think he's got enough for the first down. We will see. It's close. He needed to get to about the 28-yard line. I think he might be about a yard shy. There is a penalty flag, though, around the 50-yard line, so I did not see that. But it looks like it's going to be against the Artesians because they're – so after about a 14-yard completion, add an extra 15-yard penalty there. Don't know if it was a late hit on the quarterback. That's what it would have had to be where the penalty marker is. We've got 1st and 10 from the 13. And Hicks breaks some tackles, but gets it across to the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. So about a 3 or 4 yard pickup there. Second down coming up for Decatur Central. Horsley's going to keep it. That time, not a whole lot of room. Now the ball came loose. Did the Artesians get it? Artesians are celebrating. They did! A fumble recovery. And the second takeaway by the Martinsville defense. And Horsley dove forward to try to get some extra yards, and that's maybe where the ball popped loose. And that was a huge play by the defense because Decatur Central looked like they were knocking on the door ready to score late here in this first half. And the Artesian defense kind of bended, but they didn't break. They forced a turnover inside the 10-yard line. Peyton Horsley with the fumble. Martin going to try to get a pump fake and throws it, and Chase Mabry was kind of held up on his route there. Try to get Chase Mabry, try to pump fake and hope that the cornerback would bite on that. And maybe it would be free up the seam, but could not, maybe could not get separation. Little delay handoff, and Cox is buried. He went backwards about 2 yards there. And we've got a whistle and a timeout by Decatur Central. So they're going to try to preserve some time and hopefully get the ball back before the end of this first half. So I believe that's the third and final timeout for Decatur Central. So you cannot stop the clock again on timeouts. 2:09 left to go here, second quarter. Artesians would love to get 11 yards here and get a first down. Keep the football out of the hands of Decatur Central the rest of this half. If you can go into the locker room down 7, especially after your offense really has struggled. Now, the last drive that they had where they scored that touchdown, things started to click a little bit. They got a couple of big plays. But before that, offense was really struggling to gain yards. Defense has come up with 2 big turnovers that kept Decatur Central out of the end zone. The first one was a big hit and a tip ball that led to an interception. Decatur Central, if they would have completed that pass, it would have been inside the 10, and then the Peyton Horsley fumble inside the 10-yard line. So Artesian defense has gotten some takeaways. Can the offense repay him here? 3rd and 11. Martin back to pass. He's going to throw it. He's going to try to get it to Cox, and it's incomplete. So this is not a very comfortable feeling if you're an Artesian fan, as Weston Pemberton probably is going to have to be, well, definitely is going to be punting this in his own end zone. And he's already had one punt that's been blocked. So the offensive line there really has to do their job and block this. Pemberton has to get this away pretty quick. And gets it away, but it's a high punt. It's not going to go very long. And it's going to take a Decatur Central bounce. Martinsville was trying to say that it hit a Decatur Central player, but I don't think any of the officials are going to believe that. I didn't see it. I know it landed number 2, Asen Stevens, or excuse me, Keenan Hicks was near that, but it didn't look like the football hit him. So now the defense in a tough situation again. See if they can step up again. 1:56 left to go in this first half, and Decatur Central will get to start this drive at the Artesian 28-yard line. Horsley going to throw it. He's got a man wide open. Had to be some miscommunication there as Horsley completes it. I think that was Matt Cook, number 34, who caught that. But a 19-yard completion there. So now 1st and goal for Decatur Central from the 9. They will hand it off this time, and nowhere to go. Good job by the defense there. I think Malachi Pringle was there to wrap up the ball carrier first. Once again, Decatur Central doesn't have any timeouts, so they can't stop the clock. So any running play that they run that stays inbound, that clock's going to keep moving now. They're at the 10-yard line, so it's not like they have to go very far. 1:05 left to go here in the first half. Horsley back to pass. As a man, it is caught and touchdown. That's the first passing touchdown for Horsley tonight, and it goes to Tracy. 10-yard reception. And Tracy on the season. That is touchdown number 5. And we've got a whistle for the extra point is snapped. So depending on how you look at this, the Decatur Central coaches can say, "Hey guys, we're fortunate to have a lead going into the locker room after some mental mistakes and 2 turnovers." As the extra point is up and it looks good, high kick and it's good, and there's a late flag, so we'll have to see who this is on. But anyway, Artesian coaches can look at this and say, "Hey, we're still in this game. We're down 21-7, and." Our offense has really struggled minus that one drive. So we get the offense figured out. We get some longer sustained drives, some scoring drives, something like that, then, we're right back in this game. So both coaches can kind of spin this however they want. I don't know what that penalty, obviously something was said. Don't know who it was or what side. They have not made that official yet, but the official's talking to the Decatur Central coach Enright first. I don't know if they've made a decision, but there was a late flag. I don't know if the official ever. I don't know if there ever maybe there wasn't a penalty. I don't know. But now the officials are discussing where to put the football. So Decatur Central ready to kick this off. High kick will be taken on the 5-yard line. And taken down around the 25-yard line is Tyler Cox. Looked like he had a bit of a hole, but it closed pretty quickly. So we'll see what Coach Duggar does here offensively. Yes, you would love to come away with points, but last thing you want to do is have a turnover. Now, Martinsville does have all 3 of their timeouts, so they could stop the clock if they needed to. But you only have 52 seconds. And Artesians really haven't had a lot of big explosive plays. A couple passes that have gone over 20 yards, and we're going to try a screen pass there, and incomplete. So the screen pass has not really worked out this first half. They've tried it a couple times, and they've only ended up with incomplete passes or negative yards. They're just going to hand it off this time to Tyler Cox, who tries to fight. I mean, the kid just keeps fighting, trying to get extra yards, but just not a lot of running room on the ground tonight. He does have a rushing touchdown. Went for 8 yards, and that was his longest run of the night. And Artesians will probably just run one more play, and then that'll probably be it unless it goes for something big. Quick pass, it's dropped. So now this is Artesians. It's 4th down. Now you're going to have to punt this away. So now you've got another 4th down, 4th and 9. And you've got to be really careful here that you don't give up a touchdown or get your punt blocked. Because right now you're still in striking distance, even though, yes, Decatur Central gets the football to start the second half. But, you're only down 2 scores. You were down 2 scores last week against Greenwood with 9.5 minutes left, and you ended up winning that in overtime. But going down 3 scores against Decatur Central is a little different animal. So you just want to make sure you get this punt away, and you barely do. It's a high punt, and it'll bounce at the 40, go out of bounds with 8.5 seconds left. So what you do is, Martinsville, just set your prevent defense and just put several guys back by the end zone to make sure nobody scores. 8.5 seconds. Artesians, Decatur Central, no timeouts left, so. Artesians just can't let anybody behind them. Make sure you keep everybody in front of you, because it looks like Peyton Horsley, he may just toss this deep. He is. He's going to toss it deep. He's going to get a little pressure. And we've got a penalty marker on the near sideline here around the 45-yard line. So there's some movement either on the offensive side or the defensive side. It's false start on Decatur Central, so that will move them back. So the 5-yard penalty for Decatur Central, 5.5 seconds left. So they lost 3 seconds on that penalty. So really the only thing Decatur Central can do here is a Hail Mary pass. There's really not much time for much anything else. Even if you do get a first down, I don't think you're going to have enough time to run anything else. So they will put more time on the clock since the play never really did happen. So you do get those 3 seconds you lost back. So it is 8 seconds left. So you might be able to run 2 plays here. But the way Decatur Central is lined up, I think they're just going to throw it deep and hope for a Hail Mary. Horsley, he's going to roll to his right. He's just going to chuck it downfield. It is caught and stepped out of bounds. So there is time, 2.3 seconds. So a 32-yard pass. So we're going to try a field goal here with 2.3 seconds left for Decatur Central. This will be about a 38-yard field goal. Snap, kick is up, and it hits the goalpost and bounces out. It hit the crossbar at the bottom and bounced out. So Artesians get a break there, but they go into the locker room down 2 touchdowns, 21-7. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back with some halftime stats after this.
Understand.
Being young is hard.
With friends, school, family,
Homework, jobs, sports.
It's easy to get overwhelmed.
stress, anxiety, depression.
They can take over everything.
And with drinking, vaping, smoking, drugs.
We know it seems like the easiest answer.
But it just makes things harder.
No matter what you're facing,
you can do it.
And you don't have to do it alone.
Because we understand.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
And welcome back, everyone. WRAP 15 Sports, MHS Rewind YouTube Live. And we are going to leave it here for the Martinsville dance team as they perform here at halftime.
What up, gangsta? What up, bitch? What up, T-Unit? My bitch got all white, right? Then I hear you from the side, last track on you and I.
Back again. Once he go black, he'll be back again. Tell him that it's crunch time. Yes, I got mashing out and magic it. She did it again, imagined it. Like a skis, back again. Diamond chains on my young money in the cut like a shank cow. Sounds sick, rubber bands on my back. Show my head like a stank thing.
Big money, tight, no bite. Big money, tight, no bite. Type of money you gon' do, right? No, type of money make you feel right. Type of money she gon' just put it in right. Big money, tight, no bite. Big money, tight, no bite.
That was the Martinsville Artesian dance team performing here at halftime. We're going to take a quick other break, and then we'll come back with some halftime stats after this.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, we were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. And here we are, right here, right now.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
When you hit that water, you're going to want to look for weeds, sunken structures, down trees, stuff like that. And let that breeze tell you where you want to go. Windy days like this, those bait fish will come swimming closer to shore. They'll bring the big boys with them, those bass and those pike. Now, they like cooler temperatures, so you ain't likely to have much luck.
You're good at giving fishing advice. We're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Days have always been with live bait.
And welcome back, everyone. WRAP 15 Sports, MHS YouTube Live. And right now you are watching scenes Siderwoods Field of the Martinsville Artesian Marching Band.
Martinsville Artesian Band and Mr. Ken Belt.
And that was some of the music that you're hearing and have heard is from the Martinsville Marching Artesian Band. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights here. We've got a handful of highlights from the first half for you. First one is a big defensive play, the big hit by Larry Bland and the interception by Adam Field. That's a huge play because that would have set up Decatur Central inside the 10-yard line. And that was the big defensive stop, the first one for the Artesians. And then here is the one score for the Artesians. Handoff, and Tyler Cox cuts to his left and then goes into the end zone for the 8-yard TD run. That's the Artesians' only touchdown, unfortunately. And then late in the first half, this is when Decatur Central was able to score here and make it a 21-7 game. And it was Peyton Horsley finding his favorite receiver, number 11, Javon Tracy, for the touchdown. And that's where we stand. 21-7 is your score. Decatur Central leads it. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the stats for the first half. Passing yards for the Artesians, 61 passing yards. It really was 2 plays for the Artesians passing-wise. It was a 29-yard completion to Braxton Dilley, then a 21-yard catch by Chase Mabry. Decatur Central, on the other hand, they've got 149 passing yards. Rushing yards, Artesians really struggling to find a ground game. Just not a lot of running room for Tyler Cox. And only 6 rushing yards for the Artesians. Ty Martin's been sacked once or twice, so that is incorporated in that. On the other hand, the Hawks have 182 yards rushing. Had a couple of really nice big runs by the quarterback, Peyton Horsley, and then the 53-yard run in the second quarter from Decatur Central's number 5. And that was Hicks, who had that 53-yard scamper. First downs, it is the Decatur Central Hawks leading that stat battle 12-4. On the other hand, the Artesians are taking care of the football. They haven't committed any turnovers, and the defense has forced 2 turnovers, the interception that you saw on the highlight, and then the fumble that the Artesian defense was able to recover. You thought that would maybe keep Decatur Central out of the end zone, but the offense really couldn't move the football after that, gave the football back to the Hawks, and they were able to score. Makes it 21-7. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of the second half, so we'll take another quick break, and we'll kind of do an update and are looking at what the second half may bring.
Don't do that.
Work can be overwhelming.
School can be overwhelming.
I don't feel like I do enough at home.
I don't feel like myself at home.
I don't know if I'm making the right choices for my future.
I have no idea what to do with my future.
I have anxiety.
I get so depressed. I just wish someone could understand.
We may be your parents,
but we've been in your shoes.
And we fought the same battles.
No matter what you're facing,
we're here for you.
And you're not in this alone.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
And welcome back, everyone, to WREP 15 Sports, also streaming live on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Appreciate you if you're watching live. Understand those numbers are up a little bit just due to COVID and a lot of people just watching live from the comfort of their own home. Still a good crowd here at Ciderwoods Field as the Martinsville administration and staff doing a really nice job of trying to keep everyone safe and healthy and trying to keep families as separated as they can, trying to keep ticket numbers down a little bit to limit the number of people. So good job of the Artesian faculty and staff administration here doing their part, what they can do to try to keep football going during COVID-19, which has been a really nice, I'm sure for a lot of these fans and even some of you watching, this is just a nice little a break and just some kind of normalcy in your life after 2020, which has not been normal for almost all of us. Just a chance to kind of forget about some of the things and just watch some Friday night football. So this is good to see here. I'm glad the IHSA has done their part to try to keep, these Friday night football games going. And we don't know how far we will get. We don't know if we will get a full season or not. This is game number 4 for us, so we're happy to have these 4 games. We hope we can finish the season. I hope all the schools that are playing football can finish the season, because this is really good for the communities and not just Martinsville, but all the communities and players and coaches and everything, just to do something that they love and feel a bit normal with 2020 definitely not being a normal year. With that being said, the Artesians back on the field here, also Decatur Central coming on the field as we speak. Probably put a little extra time on to get these players warmed up. Your score 21-7. Artesians down by 2 touchdowns, and they will have to kick it off to Decatur Central. I said it before the break, just kind of what the coaches could say in the locker room. For Decatur Central, you could say, hey, we should be up more. It's 21-7. We had 2 turnovers inside Martinsville's 10. We could have had 2 more touchdowns up here. So they're, fortunate to have a 21-7 lead, but it could be 35-7. Is Coach Enright maybe saying, hey, let's clean some things up and get a so we don't let Martinsville back in this. On the other hand, Martinsville on the flip side could say, hey, we're down 2 scores. We were down 2 scores last week against Greenwood, came back and won in overtime. And also tonight, our offense just has really struggled. I mean, we've got 7 points on the board, and defense has really done a good job of keeping Decatur Central to 21. But the way our offense is played, we know our offense could be a lot better. And once this offense gets clicking, if we can get it clicking in the second half, we can get right back in this. So maybe that's what Coach Duggar and some of the other coaching staff for the Artesians is saying in their locker room. Because you look at the stats, Artesians only on the ground. Artesians only had 6 rushing yards. And there was a lot of negative running plays that kind of factored into that, but not a lot of positive running plays for the Artesians. The one big one they got was an 8-yard touchdown run by Tyler Cox, and that's the longest run for the Artesians. And passing-wise, there's really only 2 passes that went for big positive yards. The 2 passes went over 20 yards, one to Dilly and then one to Mabry. And all your other passing yards, there's been a few passing yards that have gone for negative yards, a couple that's gone for 9 yards. But really Artesians, both on the ground and through the air, have really kind of struggled to get anything going. So hopefully Coach Duggar, he was a former offensive coordinator at Southport, can maybe make some adjustments, change some things, and really get things going. Artesians at the 15-yard line, just coach there in the center, trying to get the team ready and get them hyped up. Artesians, though, they've got some players who they're missing. And, I won't get into specifics on the injuries or not, but on the offensive side, Matthew LaFerry, who came back, had his first game last week. He's not playing. He's the one senior receiver on this team. He had 6 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown, and you really kind of see, what he does for this football team. Also opens up things for other receivers, so he's not being able to out there. On the defensive side, Tanner Smith is not able to play tonight. Tanner, defensive end, who had some really good monster games, and really your player, him and Bo Hess, Weston Pemberton, those guys have been able to step up and cause opposing offenses some fits, and he's out. I mentioned Nigel Bryant has a wrap on his arm. Malachi Pringle is a little dinged up. So, this is a time of year where you start to see those injuries creep up, and, guys are going to have to play hurt. And, that's just every team's going to have that. So nobody's going to feel sorry for Martinsville, but they're missing some really big-time players tonight's game. So it's kind of next man up. Artesians were missing some big players last week. Ethan Potter off Weston Pemberton on the defensive side didn't play last week at Greenwood. Some other players had to step up, and they were able to step up, and Artesians were able to get a win. So they came from behind last week. This team, the 3 games that they have played, they've been tight. Bedford North Lawrence, it was a tight game. Artesians ended up winning that 13-6. Bloomington South was back and forth. Artesians had a chance to take the lead with about 3 minutes left. They couldn't quite do it. And in the Greenwood game we've already talked about. So, Artesians, they played some tight games. Little squib kick, and that's going to bounce, hit off the helmet of a Decatur Central player, and they're going to have to jump on it at the 30-yard line. So Artesians have had some close calls with the kicking game. They tried an onside kick after they scored their 1 touchdown, and it got past the first line of defense there and nearly was recovered, but Decatur Central was able to jump on it, and that time, little mishandle, and Decatur Central was able to jump on that one before an Artesian player could. Peyton Horsley back to pass. He throws it, has a man wide open at the 40 and caught for about an 11-yard pickup. And it's a little worrisome if you're a Martinsville fan is other than the first drive that Decatur Central had where they got stopped on 4th down, Decatur Central's been able to move the football with ease every other drive. Now 2 of them have been stopped thanks to the defense for picking up for getting 2 takeaways, the interception and the fumble recovery. But they've been able to move downfield pretty regularly every other drive since that first one. And they give it to Hicks, and he's just tackled by Malachi Pringle as he crosses the 45 to about the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. So the defense, they've had some big plays, but Decatur Central's also been able to kind of move downfield with not too much problem. So hopefully defensive coordinator and defensive coaches made maybe a few adjustments or maybe saw something that they can kind of key in on. Decatur Central pretty balanced, though, as far as yardage passing, 149 yards through the air, 182 on the ground. So they're a pretty balanced team anyway, as Peyton Horsley trying to find some room. He's got a man wide open. It's Broadwater who makes the catch, still on his feet, gets spun around to the 30-yard line. Ball came loose, but it was ground caused that fumble. He was down before the ball came loose. So it's going to be at the 31-yard line is probably where they will mark that. And here to start the second half, just like that, Decatur Central has gone from their own 30 to the Artesian 30 in about 3 or 4 plays. So the Hawks moving downfield with not too many problems here. So our team has done a good job of flushing Peyton Horsley out and forcing him out of the pocket, but he's a good quarterback, keeps his eyes downfield and finds his receivers. That's a quick handoff to Evans this time, Jaden Evans, who gets it across the 30 to maybe about the 28-yard line, so about a 3-yard pickup for him on that run. You hate to put the pressure on the defense, but they really can't let Decatur Central score here. The way your offense has kind of struggled tonight, which has been mentioned, you can't put your offense down 3 scores. It's just going to be really tough for even an offense that's really clicking to come back from down 3 scores. So Decatur Central has to stay out of the end zone here. Let's see if their teams can do it. They got a man wide open, and that's miscommunication there. As on the far sideline, Artesian's able to bring him down. Nice open field tackle on that far side, but that's just defense not really talking to each other, not quite knowing where to be at, because that Hawk player on the far side caught that, was wide open. There's not a player 5 yards around him. First and 10 coming up for the Hawks. Horsley back to pass. He's going to throw it, and good defense there. Jason Cox, he was right on his receiver. He kept his hands off of him, just kind of face guarded him, it looked like. Second down coming up, 9:09 left to go in this third quarter. Decatur Central driving. And Peyton Horsley's going to keep it. Ooh, he gets a hit hard at around the 15-yard line. Peyton Horsley's taking a couple shots, but he's popped right back up every time. So about a 4-yard pickup there for Peyton Horsley. Will bring up third and about 6 coming up for the Decatur Central. 4-down territory here. Decatur Central not gonna kick a field goal here, I wouldn't guess. So Artesian's gonna have to stop them twice to keep them out of the end zone. Hands it off. Hicks has it around the right side, and he breaks a tackle and gets to the first down. So it'll be first and goal coming up. The first Artesian player to get there on that far side made contact before Hicks could make it to the first down marker, but couldn't quite wrap him up and bring him down, and Hicks was able to bounce off of him and get extra 3 or 4 yards and get the first down. And now it's first and goal from the 3-yard line, I should say. Horsley's going to keep it himself, and he got in. So he scored Decatur Central as Peyton Horsley kept it himself and goes in for the score. His second rushing touchdown. Check that, third rushing touchdown, I should say, of the night. Had a 19-yard rushing touchdown, a 4-yard, and now make it a 3-yard. So 3 rushing touchdowns on the night for Peyton Horsley. Also has 1 through the air, so 4 total touchdowns for the quarterback. And now the extra point. Snap, down, up, and it's good. 28-7 is your score, 8:19 left to go, and Artesian offense has some work to do. Like I said, Decatur Central has been able to move the ball downfield pretty much most of the day, other than that first drive, and Artesians were able to stop them. Artesians have been able to cause a couple turnovers that has kept Decatur Central out of the end zone. But for the most part, Decatur Central's been able to move the ball downfield, and unfortunately, Artesian offense has kind of been stagnant tonight. So just not a good night for this Martinsville football team. But Coach Duggar always talks about it. There's not any quit. He talked about the Bloomington South game being down, never quit, battled, and we're able to came really close to taking the lead with like 3 minutes left to go. The Greenwood game down 2 scores in the fourth quarter, came back, won it in overtime. So he's so proud of his football team for not having any quit, and I don't think you're going to see any quit here. But Martinsville is going to have to make some things happen on both sides of the football if they want to get back in this game, down 28-7 with 8:19 left to go in the third quarter. So they still got a quarter and a half or a little more, so you've got some time, but you're going to have to make some big explosive plays on offense, which Artesians have struggled to do today as a high pooch kick. You're going to have to jump on it, and they do jump on it. Takes it about the 22, 23-yard line, I think. So one positive that the Artesians have had, they've had a couple nice returns by Tyler Cox, I've mentioned, but when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, not returning kicks, it's the Artesians have kind of struggled a little bit. So let's see. Make some adjustments, get a big play, score quick, get a stop, and you're back in this, but you got to change the momentum. You got to get this crowd back in it like they were when Artesian scored their touchdown, their first touchdown, their only touchdown, and made it 14-7. This crowd was really in it then. Hands it off to Tyler Cox. Cox around the left side, and not a whole lot of running room there. So Tyler Cox, even though he doesn't have a lot of rushing yards tonight, he does keep the legs moving, and he's there has been probably several runs where he should have had some negative plays, but turned them into either no gains or 1 or 2 yard pickups, just like that right there. So you've got to give Tyler Cox credit there that he's keeping the legs moving and trying to avoid those negative plays as best he can. Here comes Braxton Wright in motion. We're going to try around his side. Tyler Cox does break a tackle. Now he's going. Has got a hole at the 50. And now he's trying to break some tackles and gets tackled from behind it at the 40. So that is his longest run of the night. About a 37-yard pickup. And Tyler Cox, for some teams, he would probably be gone, but you see the quickness of this Decatur Central team. He got ahead of everybody, but then all of a sudden he looked, and there was about 3 or 4 Decatur Central players catching up to him. And here's the replay here. You see him trying to change direction, and there's about 5 Decatur Central players ready to tackle him, but a big run by Tyler Cox gets it out to the 37-yard line. Martin gonna throw. He's got a man wide open. It's Braxton Wright. Braxton Wright at the 10, the 5, touchdown! And Braxton Wright was his first touchdown of the season. And I said Artesians need to score quick. And 2 plays, bang, bang, they just did it. So defense, if they get a stop, here's the replay here. So Martin, wide open is Braxton Wright. Big guy, gets hit once, twice, stumbles into the end zone for his first touchdown of the season. The extra point is up, and it looks good, and it is good. So you get the crowd back into it, 28-14, and that's exactly what you need to do. There's no play in football that you can score 21 points in one play, so you can't get it all back at once. But you needed to score, and you need to score relatively quick, and you can't do it too much quicker than that as Artesian's able to score on 4 plays, I believe that was. But they had the big run, a 37-yard run, I believe, by Tyler Cox, and then a 37-yard pass completion from Ty Martin to Braxton Wright. Braxton Wright, he has been kind of a player that you can really utilize him and sneak him out into the flat, and he kind of gets forgotten. Just like that's what happened there. He kind of snuck out there and was all by himself in the middle of the field, caught it, and was able to power his way into the end zone. So now a little bit of juice here on the Martinsville sideline. Our Artesian crowd gets into it. Now after the last touchdown, Martinsville decided to try an onside kick. They almost got it. Like I said, it went through the first line of Decatur Central, but they couldn't quite jump on it. Now, that was probably a good play call. I'd probably just kick it deep here. I mean, Decatur Central offense has been able to do a lot of things, so you don't want to give them any free extra yards in case you don't get the onside kick. So I'm kicking this deep if it's me, but we will see what Ethan Hamlin does here. And he kicks an onside kicks, takes a bounce, but it is nice hands there by number 3. It's Asen Stevens, who that ball took the bounce that Martinsville wanted, and Asen Stevens his mitts just went up and grabbed that. For a lot of players, that bounce, that's tricky to grab. A lot of players, that's going to go off their hands, and Martinsville has a chance. But Coach Duggar tries to steal a possession there. (28-14) here at Siderwoods Field. 7:10 to go. Decatur Central offense back out there. Going to hand it off. And Weston Pemberton meets him, and he's still churning for yards. And there's a late flag, and that may not be good for the Artesians. Usually a flag like that, it's a face mask or a late hit. We'll see what the call is, but that does not bode well for Martinsville's defense. I don't know, unless somebody push someone in the back on the offensive side of things. We'll see what happens. It is. That's exactly what it is. Block in the back by Decatur Central. I was hoping that an Artesian player didn't get their hand in the face mask. That's usually what that flag means, but this time it was, I think, a block in the back as the Decatur Central ball carrier was trying to get extra yards. Nope, it's a personal foul against the offense. So that penalty moves Decatur Central back to their own 37-yard line, so it'll make it 1st and 19. And we got a stoppage of play here. I think official wants Coach Enright to back up a little bit, move him off the field. I think he was out of his area on the sideline there. So referee kindly, I'm sure, told him to step back. And we've got actually 2nd and 19. So 2nd down. Horsley, he's going to roll to his right. He's got some space, and he makes a catch, but Adam Field is right there to bury him out of bounds. So this will bring up a 3rd and about 12. So about a 7 or 8 yard pass completion there. So a rare 3rd and long for Decatur Central. They have not really been in too many of these. Now this is where you want that Martinsville crowd to kind of make some noise. And we will see. Artesians, they can get a stop and minimize the yards. You might force Decatur Central to punt the ball here. I don't know if Decatur Central would be willing to go for it since Martinsville's got a little bit of the momentum. But you got to keep them on this side of the 50. I think if you get across the 50, they're going to go for it on 4th down. But 3rd and long here. Peyton Horsley rolls. He's got a man wide open. It's Broadwater who catches it at the 50. So 4th down, but that may make, because it's at the ball's at the 49-yard line of the Artesians, that may force Coach Enright to roll the dice and go for it here on 4th and about 5 is what we would have. So the last time the Hawks went for it, the Artesians did get a stop, but that was early in the first quarter, the first opening drive for the first drive, I should say, for the Hawks. So 4th and 6 here. Can the Artesian defense get a stop here and give the football back to the offense? Peyton Horsley back to pass. And it is incomplete. And Artesians get the stop. No flags on the play. And the Artesian defense, first it was the offense who got the quick score, and now the Artesians return the favor. The defense does with a stop on 4th down. 6:03 left to go. And now you get a score in this 3rd quarter and keep Decatur Central off the board. You go in the 4th quarter down a touchdown. Anything can happen. Like I said, Coach Duggar loves the fight in this team, how they don't quit. So far this 3rd quarter, starting to turn the Artesians' direction. They hand it off. Cox tries to get some running room, and he goes nowhere, hits a wall, and nowhere to move. Decatur Central, number 57 on the defensive line. It's going to be tough to get through him. That's Foster Wirtz, 6'4", 320 pounds. That's who you're facing if you Martin, he's going to have to run with it, and he gets it to maybe the 49-yard line. He was going to his right trying to find a receiver down there. Couldn't quite find him and just runs it out of bounds. So ball the other side of the 50 here for the Artesians, 3rd and 8. You'd love to get their team to get a first down, give that defense a break after they've got you a stop on fourth down. If you can just get 8 yards here and at least keep this drive moving. Quick pass, and that's miscommunication there. Ty Martin was, I think, looking at Chase Mabry, and Chase Mabry did not expect the football. So miscommunication there from quarterback to receiver. So Weston Pemberton out to punt the ball again. He's been out here several times. Pemberton's going to fake it. He's got a man wide open. It's Cheatham on the fake. Luke Cheatham. He makes one man miss at the 20 and tackled there. So Coach Duggar rolls the dice on the fake punts and finds number 88, Luke Cheatham, wide open. And Decatur Central did not have a return man back, so I don't know if they were expecting a fake or what, but they did not have a return man back. And here's the play right now. You can see Luke Cheatham wide open, kind of the middle of the field, makes a man miss. And it takes it all the way to the 20-yard line where the Artesian offense will come back on and try to punch this one in. So Coach Duggar pulling out some tricks here against the Decatur Central Hawks. Going to hand it off, trying to find some running room. Tyler Cox is going to go backwards for a loss, and he's going to get, and no penalty flag. Decatur Central, if that defensive player would have thrown Cox to the ground, it would have been a 15-yard penalty for sure because they kept tackling well after the whistle. But I think because he eventually did let him go and didn't throw him to the ground, then that's where you got. Now we do have an injured Decatur Central Hawk player at around the 25-yard line, so that'll pause the action here right now. Be 2nd and 13 after this injury timeout. I tell you what, it's refreshing to see. It's good to see Artesians, even after this third quarter did not start out well at all. You had Decatur Central march down the field, score a touchdown. Artesians kind of fired back. They scored, and then your defense got to stop. Then you had the trick play and the punt. So the way this third quarter started with Decatur Central just marching down the field and scoring, making it 20-7. And here's that fake punt again from a different angle. Cheatham able to make that man miss and get extra yards before he's tackled at the 20-yard line. So the sophomore, number 88, Luke Cheatham there on the reception. Luke Cheatham, he had a big game against Bloomington South. He had several catches. Kind of quiet last week, but only a sophomore, still learning. Sophomore at the varsity level, very impressive. And especially being a sophomore at the varsity level and, during the 2020 COVID thing, not being able to have the reps that you normally would have during a normal off season. So a lot of these players, especially the receivers, because they're so young, they're going to get better. And now everybody's this is an odd formation here, and I don't know if Coach Duggar likes what he sees. Now he's sent in everybody back. 5 seconds on the play clock. Will they be able to get it off? They do. And it's just a handoff to Cox, who dives to across the 20 to about the 19. So gets back to where the original line of scrimmage was. So it'll be 3rd and about 10 or 3rd and 9 coming up from the 19-yard line. So there's a lot of movement there for a handoff inside. So I think I don't think Coach Duggar's too happy. I think he's wanting some players doing some things that they're not really doing or being where they should be. Takes it to Cox. Quick across the middle pass, slant, and it is caught. Going to be shy of the first down, so we'll bring up a 4th down here, but makes the fourth down a little bit more manageable. I think that was Cheatham again who made that catch. They're going to hurry to it. 4th and 4. 13-yard line. They need to get 4 yards to get the first down to keep this drive going. Trying to get Decatur Central to jump here. 12 seconds on the play clock, and now they're moving Braxton Wright around. Here comes Mabry. Throws it, and it's intercepted. There's a flag, though. So that pass was intercepted, but there's a flag that's laying at about the 4-yard line. So we will see with this. There was a lot of bodies around where that ball was thrown. So we're hoping there were pass interference on the Hawks here. So we're hoping that a Decatur Central player held the receiver or interfered with the receiver. Either way, if that's what happens, you save a turnover, and then you keep this drive alive. Artesian fans already cheering. They must already know what it is, and they do. It's a pass interference on the Hawks. So that will be a first down. So with 2:59 left to go, Artesians, after that penalty, moves close. Should be first in goal, I'm guessing. We'll see where that's actually spotted. From the 4-yard line, 1st and goal from the 4. Artesians just take care of the football. You got a really good shot here to put this one in and go from being down 3 scores to being down 1 score. Now we have to have a conversation with the officials here. And I should say, I know it's easy to criticize officials, and it's kind of, as sports fans, what we do, but I do have to give a thank you to all the officials, not just these, but the ones, because of everything. I've read stories of shortage of officials because a lot of officials who are older are retiring, and there's not a lot of younger people who are going into officiating, so it's harder to find officials, and especially with COVID, it's even harder. So we should give a shout-out to the officials, even though sometimes they drive us mad, for helping us to keep these games going on. Hands it off up in the middle, Tyler Cox, and doesn't get a whole lot of room. Goes from the 6-yard line to about the 4. So the officials marked it back a couple yards initially. That's what the meeting was about. So 2nd and goal from the 6 now. Two and a half minutes here. Martin rolls to his right. Lil still looking. He's just going to throw it away. Tries to get it to Luke Cheatham, but it's maybe a late hit. That was flag was thrown late. Martin was rolling to his right and got hit as he was going to the sideline as he was throwing that away, and that flag shot out, and it will be a personal foul, roughing the passer. And that's got to drive Coach Kyle Enright crazy. You had 2 penalties here that has kept this drive alive. One of them took the football out of your hands because it was an interception. So now I think that should give you another first down, and it's really going to only move you up maybe a yard or 2, but it'll give you a first down from the 2-yard line here, I think is where you're going to be at. And Artesian's going to call a timeout. So Martinsville calls the timeout. Coach Duggar and his staff will talk this over. This is a big play here. We're only in the 3rd quarter. It kind of feels like the 4th quarter. It kind of has that excited / nervous energy of a 4th quarter play. But Martinsville fans know how big this is. They need to score a touchdown here. Make this a 1-score game. And hopefully their teams can keep it a 1-score game going into the 4th quarter. And then you never know. You never know going into the 4th quarter only being a 1 touchdown away from a lot of things can happen. You kind of put some pressure on Decatur Central. Maybe they get a little bit tight. I'm sure they were feeling good after the start of this third quarter, being up 28-7, and now all of a sudden they look up. They're still up, but 28-14, and Martinsville knocking right at the door, trying to make this a one-score game. 2:22 left to go in the third quarter. Artesians from the Decatur Central Hawks 2-yard line. Pemberton in motion. They give it to Cox. Cox gets a score. Touchdown. His second rushing touchdown of the night from the 2-yard line. And the Artesians, just like that, they're back in it. The extra point coming up by Ethan Hanlon. Take a quick replay here. And once again, just good awareness by Tyler Cox. He kind of had to stop and wait for the hole to open up. Then he bursted through the hole. Kick is up. It is good. So we've got a 28-21 score with 2:18 left to go in the third quarter. A lot of football left. A lot of football left. Everything the Artesians needed to do from the time they were down 20-7, they have done. Their offense got that second touchdown score really quick. Defense got to stop. And the Artesians went downfield, had a few penalties helped out by Decatur Central. We'll take it. And then able to punch it into the end zone on a 2-yard run by Tyler Cox. Now all of a sudden a 28-7 deficit is now a 28-21 deficit. So after both touchdowns, or after two of the touchdowns, I should say, the Artesians have tried onside kicks. Let's see what they do here. Good Hanlon. Will he try another onside kick? Really just kick this as far as he can. He kicks a onside kick. It kind of bobbles. I don't know. It was on the left side this time is where they win. I don't know. I think it was close, but I don't think they got it. And Decatur Central ended up having it. So the last two onside kicks, they kind of went just up the middle. And that time they went to the left side of the field. And there were a couple Artesian players there, but couldn't quite get on there fast enough. Now the officials are having a conference here. Don't know what this could be about. It's pretty clear, I think, who has the football, who doesn't. And that meeting is somehow there was a penalty against Martinsville. I don't know what that penalty could have been. But there was a penalty that moved Decatur Central up 10 yards, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from the Martinsville 41. Hands it off on the end around, and nice job of the Artesian defense. Nowhere to go. Great job. Jason Cox was there. Also Nigel Bryant, with basically one hand, comes out of the bottom of that pile. And that actually went for a negative 1 yard. .145 to go here in the third quarter. Decatur Central backs up, and now I think that's going to, yep, they had some movement there. I think the quarterback and the running back were moving at the same time. Peyton Horsley was going back, the running back was moving forward, and that's going to be a penalty on Decatur Central. Will move them back. Moves them back all the way to the 48-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 16. Second long. Let's see if the Hawks going to put it in the air, and they do. Got a man wide open. It's Broadwater again. He gets hit by, I believe that's 34 Bo Hess who hits him. And we've got another penalty. And this one comes late. Bo Hess made the stop. It's going to be on the Artesians, so this will probably give Decatur Central so the official calls targeting, so Artesian player tackled Broadwater high. I'm guessing that happened. I didn't see it myself, but I guess when Bo Hess had Broadwater wrapped up at the legs, another Artesian player came up high. That's at least what the official's saying. So that's going to move Decatur Central up to the 21-yard line. So that'll be first down for the Hawks. And of course, he's going to keep it up the middle. And he's tackled about a yard or two shy of the first down marker. It's about 3 yards shy. He'll be about 2nd and 3 from the 15-yard line of the Artesians. Under a minute to go now in the third quarter. Artesians down 7 after coming back, being down 28-7, but now Decatur Central's threatening to put some more points on the board. In the defense, so they have another turnover in them. Up the middle, Hicks, he's going to be dragged down to about the 5-yard line, so that's going to be a first down for the Decatur Central Hawks as Artesian player comes up, and it's Bo Hess, number 34, kind of comes up limping just a little bit, but he's going to stay in there. And now he's going to go back down. So we're going to have a stoppage of play for an injured Martinsville player. Like I said, it's 34 Bo Hess, who's probably been your best defensive player this year so far. And at first, he kind of popped back up and looked like he was going to go continue playing, but now he's on the ground, and he seems to be in a lot more pain than what he was. So we got an injury timeout for a Martinsville player. Hopefully it's nothing serious, as we got 41 seconds left, and Artesians trying to keep Decatur Central out of the end zone. It's good to see Bo Hess able to get up and walk off on his own power. So after the injury timeout, should be back to action here as Decatur Central have a 1st and goal from the 6. Snap, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right. He's got a man wide open in the back of the end zone. And Artesians were fooled on that. Good offensive play call by Decatur Central as they were, I think all the defense was following that read option look that Peyton Horsley was going to either hand it off or keep it. Then all of a sudden he pulls it and finds an open receiver. Couldn't quite tell who it was in the back of the end zone. So Decatur Central scores late here in the third quarter, makes it 34-21. And an extra point coming up. Snap a little funky, but still able to get it down and up. So 35-21. So Artesians back down to 2 scores now. They were down 2 scores last week with 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So after the Artesians' last score, they tried the onside kick on the left side of the field, nearly got it. And actually, all 3 of their onside kicks have come pretty, have been pretty successful as far as being close. None of them have just been right to a Decatur Central player. They've all had a little bit of excitement. And Decatur Central was able to march downfield. And pass, touchdown pass at the back in the back of the end zone to a wide open Decatur Central player. Gave the Hawks a 35-21 lead. We still have the entire fourth quarter left to play. Yeah, that's going to be a line drive. That's probably going to go to the back of the end zone, and it does. So they don't have, don't give the Artesians a chance to return this. So that will put the ball at the 20-yard line. That's where the Artesians offense will start. Last 2 times out there, Artesian offense has really put together some nice scoring drives here. Hopefully they can continue that. Martin, quick pass, little reverse coming up. And we've got some room here. And cannot quite get the edge, though. The edge closes quickly. I looked up and I thought that Garrett Skaggs would have some room around that left side and he might be gone, but that tough to find room when you've got a defense with that much speed. But it was a big gain at least for the Artesians, about an 8-yard pickup on that reverse play, but you hoping on a trick play like that you get a little bit more. And they do snap it before the end of the an incomplete pass. And that is the way the quarter will end. So it's 35-21. Artesians trying to come back again. We'll see if they can do it in the fourth quarter after this.
13,000 feet has a way of testing a man's soul. After all, you were never meant to take on such an endeavor. That long drop is what separates human from superhuman. And here we are, right here, right now.
You're good at motivation, we're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
When you hit that water, you're going to want to look for weeds, sunken structures, down trees, stuff like that. And let that breeze tell you where you want to go. Windy days like this, those bait fish will come swimming closer to shore. They'll bring the big boys with them, those bass and those pike. Now, they like cooler temperatures, so you ain't likely to have much luck.
You're good at giving fishing advice. We're good at your insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
These have always been with live bait.
And the Martinsville Artesian cheerleaders having a nice Patriot American display there at the end of the third quarter. It is Patriot Day, 9-11. Artesians trying to come back here. And incomplete. Tried to get it to, I think it was Tyler Cox. 4th and 3. And I think you're going to have to punt this away, because if you don't get this, then you put your defense in a position where if they don't get a stop, that's pretty much over. So you've already run one fake punt today. Would you dare run a second one this deep in your own territory? You got a whole quarter left. You're down 2 scores, so. And high one there. And it will take a Decatur Central bounce. So Weston's had some high kicks, but when they bounce, they go the other direction. But clean punt there, and marks it at the 44-yard line is where Decatur Central will take over. Peyton Horsley has the football. He's in a little bit of trouble, but he spins away. And now he's going to throw it deep, and it is incomplete, well over the head of his receiver. You kind of see the athleticism that Peyton Horsley has. Peyton, he spun away from what looked like a sure sack and was still able to throw it downfield, but well covered there on that far sideline. And the ball was overthrown to the intended receiver. And we'll have a stoppage of play. I think a timeout was called, and it was by the Hawks. So Decatur Central will use the timeout here. Like I said, Decatur Central next week, they host Mooresville in a big mid-state matchup. That may be one of the better games to watch in Central Indiana next week, as Decatur Central and Mooresville will play each other. Mooresville, number 1 as of this week in 4A. Decatur Central came in tonight's game number 5 in 5A. And both those teams, you would expect, Coach Duggar even said it, if you want to win the Mid-State Conference, you're going to have to go through both those teams. So both those teams may be looking at that as a possible conference championship game. I thought, maybe hoping that Decatur Central would kind of be peeking ahead to that game and maybe overlook some things here against Martinsville. But so far they have not. A few mental miscues every now and then, but that's not uncommon as they have a 35-21 lead. That'll be a big game for Decatur Central next week, hosting Mooresville. For the Artesians, they are on the road at Franklin, which means we will not be broadcasting that game for you on MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Unfortunately, you will have to go through, I believe, the IHSA Champions Network to find that game. And you will have to kind of register if you haven't already registered, and pay $9.99 to watch the Martinsville and Franklin. So, save yourself a little bit of money and go down in person if you can and watch Martinsville next week, because Peyton Horsley is going to keep this himself, and he was going to get the first down. Gets about an 11-yard run around the left side. And you look at this conference, this Mid-State Conference, and it has gotten tougher and tougher every year. Every team seems to be getting better and better. You have Mooresville, who we talked about, Decatur Central, who is really good. They were in the state championship game 2 years ago. Franklin, who several years ago was really struggling for wins. They have gotten much improved as Peyton Horsley on this play goes back to pass. He's looking to go deep on the other side. He's got a man. It's Hicks, and Hicks has it. Can he score? He does. And you see how quick that was in that 45-yard pass play. Touchdown, Decatur Central. And there's still a whole quarter left, but that may be the play that might take all the air out of the sails. Artesians did a great job in that third quarter to battle back. They were down to had it to one score, 28-21, and just could not keep Decatur Central off the scoreboard the way they were able to do Greenwood in the second half, especially late in that second half. And you see just kind of some of the speed that Decatur Central has that Martinsville just doesn't quite have. You can't coach speed, but just our Decatur Central, bigger school, more athletes to choose from. But Decatur Central just has some really good, quick, athletic kids that can really fly. And then they showed it right there as Hicks had it, and then he raced up the left side, and there was really nobody there that could catch him. Like I was saying at the mid-state, you look at some of these teams. Franklin has gotten so much better with their new head coach who got there a year or two ago. They've started to really improve. Whiteland is still always pretty tough. Coach Fisher has been there for years. Greenwood, a really solid football team. Just a few years ago, I think they made it to regionals or semi-state. They had a lot of success there with Coach Campbell. Plainfield is always a tough team. In Martinsville, a few years ago we were talking before Coach Whitson got here. They were really one of those down teams that kind of everybody wanted to play. You think, oh, Martinsville can get a win there, and then all of a sudden Coach Whitson came around, turned around the program. Now Martinsville is tough. And Perry Meridian, you'd have to think that a school that size, they're the only 6A school in Mid-State Conference, and they're probably the one team that's down out of all the teams in the conference. But you just have to think that if the right coach gets in that system, with the size of that school and the athletes that they have, they can be right in it. So the Mid-State Conference is now becoming one of the tougher conferences in the state, as this is taken by Tyler Cox, and he gets tackled high, and you would think that we get a flag maybe. That seemed like a high tackle, but maybe it wasn't as bad as it looked like. So no easy games here for Martinsville. And even against Perry Meridian last year on the road, that was a game that you won last second. I think it was the winning a field goal that was made as the time expired. It was kind of a walk-off win. Martinsville beat Perry Meridian that way. So there's not going to be an easy game here the rest of the way. As got Chase Mabry kind of reached behind him and caught it and got it all the way up to the first down marker, I think, for a first down. So you just hope as a football team, you just continue to get better. In Indiana, everybody makes the tournament. There's no surprise there, so everybody gets to play in the sectionals. And if you're healthy at the right time and playing good football at the right time, you never know what could happen. Hands it off there. Cox, he's got some room and gets it to about the 40 for a big yard. Big yard gainer there. It's about a 19-yard pickup there, I think, on that run, Tyler Cox. Tyler Cox has had a couple of nice runs here in the second half. That's what he did not have in the first half. And nearly got away again, but got tackled at around the 38-yard line on that play. And Cox that time doesn't get much. Maybe lost a yard on that play. Kind of was falling forward as he got the handoff. Third and 10 from the Decatur Central 39-yard line here. Artesians just looking to get some more points on the board. And Martin going to try to roll out, and he's got some trouble. He's going to get hit. So Martin rolls to the left and gets sacked for about a 3-yard loss. So fourth down, probably, or Coach Duggar just going to go for it. Might as well, nothing to lose here, being down 42-21. You're on Decatur Central side of the field, so just see if you can make something happen here. He's going to throw it deep. He's got Cheatham, who nearly makes the catch. And the official's going to say that's a catch. Now, two things with that play. Two things with that amazing play. First off, Luke Cheatham was held that entire time. Why a flag was not thrown on an interference or holding is beside me. That was an easy penalty to throw. And Luke Cheatham caught that. I don't know if he came down with that. I would have called that incomplete from here. I'm glad they didn't. As Martin just throws it away. Tried to get it to right and just threw it right to Decatur Central. That is the first interception thrown by Martin tonight, and the first interception. And now Martinsville's got an injured player. Jalen Lapasa comes up. I believe that's Jalen Lapasa who comes up limping a little bit. Ty Martin throws his first interception tonight. Didn't have any interceptions last week. He struggled with some interceptions the first two games, but really took care of the ball and played a great game last week. And after the big play and the amazing catch by Luke Cheatham, unfortunately just try to force that into Braxton Wright, try to make something happen. Here's a setup screen play. This could be trouble, but nice job there by, I think, Cox, who was not fooled. That was Larry Blaine who came up with that tackle. Excuse me. Javon Tracy who had that catch. Of course, he's going to keep it, try to get to the right side. He finds some running room, gets hit at the 40, so gets the first down. The clock's going to run. 7:10 left to go in this game. Artesians down 42-21. So, barring a miraculous comeback, Artesians going to fall here. So, unfortunately, Artesians 2-0 on the road. Going to be 0-2 at home. Let's pick up about 4 yards there for Hicks on that run. So, Artesians looks to probably fall to 2-2. And be 1-1 in the conference. Decatur Central, they'll be 3-1, 3-0 in the conference. They played Perry Meridian, so they've played one mid-state conference game more than most other teams. They played Perry Meridian, beat them handily, and then last week had the win against Whiteland, and then tonight looks like they will get the win here at Martinsville. So An important 3-0 start for Decatur Central, and I do not know the score of the Mooresville game, but if Mooresville wins, that'll be two undefeated teams going head-to-head next week. Nice hit there by the Artesian defender there, who gobbled up Decatur Central running back Hicks again. It'll be third down coming up for Decatur Central. So Artesian now just playing for pride here, effort. Just hopefully nobody gets hurt. That's the last thing you want in a game that is all but wrapped up. Just hopefully everyone comes out of here as healthy as they can. Had a few couple Martinsville players, Bo Hess, one of them, Jalen LaPasa, that came off the field with some injuries. Hopefully those aren't too serious, as Hicks still running, gets across midfield into the Artesian territory. And you'll probably just see Coach Enright just be calling running plays the rest of the time. Horsley throws it up. He has Tracy and comes down with the catch. Wow. Javon Tracy came down with the catch, and he had two Martinsville defenders on him. Larry Bland was there, and then also Stephen Drake. Both of those players were right there with Javon Tracy. Javon Tracy went up and got it, came down with it. I don't exactly know his stats, but he's got a couple receiving touchdowns tonight, and he's probably close to 100 yards receiving, if not surpassed it. If you're just now joining us, the name Tracy, yes, it is the part of the same Tracy family. Two older brothers, Tyrone Tracy, who's a redshirt sophomore at Iowa, and Kenny Tracy, who was on Decatur Central's team last year. And here's the catch. You saw him go up and get it. And there were two red jerseys around him, and he still went up and got it and was able to come down with it. Great catch by him. Yeah, Tyrone and Kenny both playing Division I football. And then he's got a cousin, Larry, who also plays Division I football just down the road at IU. Javon, only junior. He's got an offer to Iowa, where his brother is currently at. And I'm sure with games like this, he'll probably pick up a few more offers over the next year or so. So that means you'll have three Tracy brothers and a cousin who could all be playing Division I college football at the same time, which is pretty impressive. It's very impressive for anyone. Horsley's going to keep it, gets spun around. Wow, still on his feet and gets tackled from behind. Horsley was spun around so fast. Thought he'd maybe try to run the other direction the way he was spun around, but he stayed on his feet and ended up picking up 3 or 4 yards. So under 4 minutes to go here as Decatur Central obviously in no hurry. Tracy trying to find some room and gets around to the outside. Comes close to the first down, but I don't think he's going to make it. Tackle there on that far sideline. It's 42-21 now. The score, it's easy to forget, but was this game at the very end of the third quarter was really tight. Martinsville had the momentum. They were down 20-7 at one point in the third quarter. Battled back, was down 28-21. And then this place was really had some energy to it. Horsley, he's going to look to throw it. Throws the back of the end zone, but that's going to be incomplete. Couldn't stay in. So 4th down here, 4th and 3 from the 5. We can still get a first down here. We're not 4th and goal yet, so we'll see if Decatur Central will just try to go for it here and put a punctuation mark on this game. Yeah, 42-21. Artesians had to score 28-21 with under a minute left to go in the third quarter. This game was tight at the end of the third quarter. Then Decatur Central was able to score, and then the fourth quarter, it's been all the Hawks so far. And some movement, I think, along Decatur Central. So this will move them back and make this 4th down a little harder to get. It's actually going on the defense, excuse me. It's offsides on the defense, so that will be a first down for Decatur Central, and they not a first. It's awfully close. No, but it's going to stay a 4th down. It's going to be 4th and short. Ball's inside the 5-yard line. Inside handoff. Didn't make the touchdown, but I think got the first down. So it is going to be a first down, a 1st and goal from the 1. Horsley hands it off, and Decatur Central with the score. Decatur Central puts an end to this game, 48-21. An extra point coming up, but so these are two teams in different classes. Artesians down to 4A, Decatur Central in 5A. So this will be the only time these teams will face each other. They will not see each other tournament time. Decatur Central, they have a tough sectional win because if it's unless they've changed it again, which we're going to fake it and going to throw it, and it is caught. And you kind of have to wonder why Decatur Central went for it for 2 there. And that may not make Coach Duggar happy. At least it does not make this broadcaster too happy. As 2:20 left to go in the 4th quarter, and you go for 2 when you've got a 48-21 lead. I don't understand why you go for 2. That's the type of thing that you don't really like to see. I mean, I get it. If you don't like it, then try not to be down or try to win. Whatever you want to say, but. High school football, I don't think that was really necessary. So I don't know if it was a design play. It didn't look like the snap was bad or anything like that, where it was a broken play or anything like that. I think that was a drawn-up design play, and it's just something that I don't understand. So 50-21 is your score. Artesians will fall to 2-2, 1-1 in the conference. Hawks will go to 3-1, 3-0 in conference. Their only loss was a big loss to Center Grove in the first game of the season. And Center Grove, is, like I said earlier in the broadcast, has been beating a lot of people. Hit hard there, but gets it across field, does, to the 31-yard. So despite COVID-19 and everything, and things are obviously a little different. It is starting to feel like football season now. You've had some college football you can watch. I think a lot of teams really get kicked off next Saturday. Now, unfortunately, if you're a Big Ten fan or a Pac-12 fan, you won't be watching any football for a little while or ever. That's still kind of up in the air, but there's a lot of colleges football playing. NFL got kicked off yesterday. And the rest of the NFL will kick off Sunday and Monday. So, high school football is still going. So, despite everything and all the ups and the downs, mainly downs, especially these last 6-7 months, good to see the weather starting to change, starting to get a little cooler. Fall's just officially a couple weeks away. You're starting to see some football happen, so hopefully you feel a little bit of normalcy. And if you're a football fan, just a chance to escape for a couple hours and just kind of enjoy some good football here. As Martin's still out there, Braxton Wright fighting for extra yards, gets it near the 40 to the 39-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go here in this game, and Martin take it, throws it, and cannot get his receiver. Looks like he was trying to get Mabry and Wright were both in the same area. I think he was trying to get to Mabry though, and just couldn't quite connect with him. Like I said, next week, Artesians on the road, staying in the Mid-State Conference at Franklin. Grizzly Cubs last year was kind of their big turnaround, where they really started to turn around their program. Like I said, 3 or 4 years ago, it was kind of down. Franklin was one of those teams that hadn't had a winning season in several years. Then all of a sudden last year, their new coach, things started to click a little bit. Ooh, nice catch. That ball was thrown low and behind him, and it was a good catch there by Mabry. So first down there for the Artesians. But Artesians, tough task against the Franklin Grizzly Cubs. Grizzly Cubs still a strong team. And Decatur Central, like I said, will host Mooresville in a big game. And that'll be a game that'll probably get a lot of media attention and publicity with Decatur Central and Mooresville. 2 top 5 teams playing each other. Martin, he's going to try to go deep to Mabry, but throws it well over the head of Mabry. Mabry got a little turned around trying to find that football. Ty Martin tried to get it to Weston Pemberton, overthrew him there. So third down here, 1:08 left to go. Artesians still throwing the ball. They're trying to get the score to look a little better in their favor. Martin, quick pass this time to Pemberton. They got Weston Pemberton, who gets slung down. Makes you a little nervous to see one of your better linebackers take a shot like that. He got slammed to the ground, but gets the first down reception. Clock going here down to under 45 seconds now. Ty Martin looking. He's trying to find Luke Cheatham. He's got it aired out, and nice defensive play there. And they're going to late flag, and I think it's number 28. He had his left hand on Luke Cheatham. I don't know if he's grabbing him or not, but used his right hand to tip the ball away, but his left hand was grabbing onto Cheatham. That's probably what you're going to get called. pass interference. And this game is getting close to the 3-hour mark, which is pretty rare for a high school football game. Usually these games go about 2 hours. You know, you can look at about 9, a little after the game will end. But this game, we're getting close to 10 o'clock. This has been a long football game. Martin goes to his left. He had a man wide open. Weston Pemberton was running, had a step or two on his man, middle of the field, and Martin couldn't quite find him. Was looking for Cheatham there on the left side. Martin gets hit as he throws and tried to make an amazing catch over the defender, but could not quite make the amazing catch. I think it was Garrett Skaggs on the far sideline who was the intended receiver. 3rd and 10 to go. Martin back to throw, trying to get a receiver, gets kind of tangled up. I don't think there's any interference there, just a little. So 4th and 10, Martinsville will probably go for it. And fall incomplete. Try to get it to, I think, Weston Pemberton again. So Martin trying to really connect with Weston Pemberton that drive, but just couldn't really hook up with him, and that will do it. So Decatur Central more than likely going to take a knee here. I would hope so. But this is the Decatur Central went for 2. Being up 48-21 here with like 2 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. So I do not know, but I would suspect victory formation here. Looks like they've got the victory formation, and this will officially do it finally. Final score, Decatur Central with the big win, 50-21. Artesians hung tight in that 3rd quarter, but the 4th quarter just got away from them. So that will do it here at Ciderwoods Field. I'd like to thank the students of the TV broadcasting class that helped run all the cameras and did the directing of this broadcast. Thank you for watching on MHS Rewind YouTube channel. Once again, we will not have the game next week at Franklin, so we will see you in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.